Hey y'all, TeannaBReading here. Welcome back to my channel. Me and my favorite sweater. I never probably started seeing that sweater, but y'all gonna see it. As long as I got it, y'all gonna see it. Hold on, let me get myself together. We're here for some book reviews today, y'all. I've been on the road with my book reviews. I'm really proud of myself. So we're not gonna take too much time. We're gonna do a book review today. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is not the first time I reviewed this author. The name of the book is Diamond Boy by Charae Lewis. I believe I reviewed End of Time, the whole series by her. Check my playlist because I'm almost positive I have. Anyway, the name of this book is Diamond Boy. It's 366 pages, and I rated it a 3 out of 5. A 3 out of 5. I'm an equal opportunity reviewer, so I feel like if I gave her previous book a really high review that I did for her, well, not for her, of her book. I didn't do anything for anybody. I do these reviews because I enjoy reading. But I figure, don't mind my eczema, y'all. Leave me alone. I'm self-conscious. Anyway, I figured I would do this review. So, let's start with the summary. If my computer wants to work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. All right. Y'all ready for my dramatic read? In this thrilling tale of deception and forbidden love, Charlie is tasked with infiltrating the life of Diamond Fall's finest. I pronounced his name this whole time as Jira. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Jira Baldwin. As she executes her meticulously crafted plan, she finds herself drawn to his charm, kindness, and vulnerability. What begins as a mission driven by greed transforms into a whirlwind of emotions as she grapples with the growing feelings for him. It's like her growing feelings for him. Torn between her original intent and the undeniable connection they share, she must decide whether to follow her heart or fulfill her obligation, leading to a tumultuous journey of love, betrayal, and redemption. Look at my thing. It feels like it. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, that's the summary. Now for my thoughts. So, really quickly, I'll give you guys my little quick synopsis of the book. Charlie is forced to... Diamond Boy is called Diamond Boy because Jira's family deals in diamonds. Like, that's their illegal trade. You know, some people do weapons, some people do drugs. They do diamonds. And his family has this really huge diamond stone that his father gifted his mom years ago. I forgot what it's called, but the diamond is an abbreviation of the mom's name. That's the name of the diamond. And Charlie's... how do I want to explain him? I can't think of his name. But Charlie's pimp, essentially, has decided that she needs to trick Jira into falling for her so that she can get access to the diamond and give it to the pimp. I forgot his name. And I just read this book less than a month ago, y'all. I read this book August 19th. Today's only September 6th. Why can't I remember his name? I don't know. I didn't write it down. And so this is just the journey of her trying to gain access to said... was his name like Pierre or something? Or am I imagining that? I might be imagining that. Let's move on. So, My first thought was, why is Charae comfortable laying around in a brothel at 21? Why didn't she leave? Why doesn't she have a job? Charae's mom was a professional. And she was unalived. And Charae is brought to live at this brothel called the Palace, as they call it, the Palace. And she's like 16, I think, when she's brought to live there. But this is what doesn't get me. And Payne is the pimp in said palace. Now, we do eventually find out that Payne and another girl and whatnot manipulated the situation that caused Charae's mom's death. I believe her mom's name is Chrissy, but don't hold me to that. But she's 21 now, and there are some things that happen to her that makes her feel indebted to Payne. But the way she goes about living life is very strange, because half of the time we see her, she's literally just laying, before the book gets moving, she's literally just lying in bed reading her mom's poetry. It's not a situation where she's not like, she's not being held hostage. Like, she's not a working girl. She's just in the house. But it's not a situation where she's like, dang, let me go make my own money. Let me go find a job at McDonald's. Let me go. Like, that never happens in the book. She's just laying around the house being sad. And she knows that the other women in the house are professionals. But I guess she feels like because she doesn't have to do it, it's okay. That's the vibe I get. Like, it's like she has no initiative to leave. Like, it's like do you not plan? Like, I get. And then she talks about how she wanted to go to college, but it didn't happen. Okay, cool. But do you not have any initiative to do anything else? You're just here. And you've been here since you were like 16. It was no job. And you've been happily, I ain't gonna say happily, non-problematically taking Payne's money, eating for their food, and like just living off of basically living off of the other women in the house, because Payne is living off of them. When she meets, what's Diamond Boy's name? Jira. When she meets Jira, they start dating, or he starts courting her, and he takes her to this boutique that happens to be owned by his sister. And the sister is looking at Charae, and she's like, I recognize you. I recognize you. I recognize you. And Charae's like, you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know me. Eventually, it is revealed that she does know Charae, because she is the boutique owner that Payne gets clothes from for his working girls. So she definitely knows Charae. And Lyric at some point is going to confront her about this. Like, I do know you. Does my brother know he's dating a professional? And Charlie's basically like, I'm not a professional. And it's like, man, but for all intents and purposes of this conversation, you are. And when she's like, I'm gonna tell my brother, Charae, who we're supposed to believe is this innocent girl who's had a hard life, and she's just struggling through life, and she's a victim of her circumstances, and it's unfair and it's unfortunate. She decides to tell Lyric, if you tell your brother who I really am, I'm going to tell your brother that you have a drug habit. And that is why you know Payne. Because in exchange for clothes, he supplies you. And of course now Lyric is like, okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But it's like, Jira's going to, y'all know I take notes as I read. I do not take notes after the fact anymore. I jot as I read. So just follow me. I also said that he's going to find out. Like, there's no point in you trying to, because by this point, Charae actually likes him. So she's like trying to maintain their relationship, basically. Like, she's lying to Payne, lying to the other professionals, and like she's trying to maintain this relationship with Charae because she actually is interested, like, into him. And it's like he's gonna find out. The whole "I'm blackmailing you" to his sister thing is weird because he's going to find out. I said Charlie doesn't like when people talk about her professional mama, but Lyric can't protect her brother. In the book, every time somebody says something about Charlie's mom being a professional, she is very defensive. She's very, my mom was a victim of circumstance. My mom was a great writer. My mom was a, don't talk about my mommy. She's very much that. But here you are in the same breath throwing somebody else's fault or flaw in their face for your gain. But when people do that for themselves towards you, you're ready to fight. You're crying. You're ready to have a fit. You're ready to do whatever else you can do. There's a part where she's going back and forth with the main girl in the house. Like, she's like top dog in the house. And she's also in a somewhat relationship with Payne. And the girl had a problem with Charlie's mom, and Charlie has basically inherited that problem. And there's a scene in the book where Charlie throws out that Payne was intimate with Charlie to like make the other woman mad. And of course she does get mad because she's in love basically with Payne and her feeling of being top spot. So what does she do? She takes Charlie's poetry books that she got from her mom. These are her last things she has left from her mama. She takes them and sets them on fire. And Charlie starts crying, and now she's sad. But you were just feeling like you were on top of the world when you had a one-up on this woman. Like, I don't know. It's very, I can be mean to you and I can cause harm to people, but they can't cause harm to me and they can't be mean to me because I'm 21. Like, that's very, she very much gives, I'm a victim, but nobody else is allowed to be. My mom is a victim, but nobody else is allowed to be. And those kind of characters are not, I don't root for those kind of characters. So even early in the book, when she still tried to come off as innocent and this stuff was happening, it slowly but surely built up a dislike for her in my mind. I said, why isn't Charae curious about where Charlie lives? In the book, once again, she lives in the palace with all the rest of the girls. I'm in charge of the girls. And she is using another like apartment or whatever that Payne owns as like her home for Charae. But the whole book, Charae's just picking her up and dropping her off outside of this complex or condo or whatever, townhome, whatever it is. He's just picking her up and dropping her off outside. He never enters the building. He never enters the home. And I just like, that's so weird. That's so weird to me that he's not curious about where she lives. Like, he's not asking any questions. They never spend nights at that residence. It's always his place. He's always coming to pick her up, sending a car for her. But it's never a situation where he like goes to her door and knocks and surprises her with flowers or something and she lets him in or whatever. It just, I don't know. I just think that that's so weird when people are dating and they aren't in each other's spaces in books. Like, I get that he's the one with the money and his home is bigger, but that's still weird to me. It's just weird to me that that wasn't included, that he would be in her space ever. Because they haven't, this is like months long. Like, she ends up extending that relationship because she's falling for him. So instead of following the plan that Payne set forth, she kind of is like dragging her feet so that she can intentionally spend more time with him. But he never enters the place that she's supposedly living in while she's on this mission. I said Charlie overstepped with Lyric at Gyra's birthday party. At Gyra's birthday party, Lyric, of course, knows who Charlie is by now. So she's like throwing little jabs and she's like, brother, I need to talk to you, babe. You know, like she's not settled in her spirit. And that's very obvious. And instead of Charlie playing like the backdrop, because you know why she's upset. And you know she has a justified reason to be upset. And it's like Lyric is trying to have a conversation with Gyra and explain to him, like, I don't trust her, basically. And Charlie's like jumping in the conversation, kind of like, you're the one who can't be trusted. Do we need to tell them what you got going on, basically? And it's just like, that's this man's sister, man. That's another thing that bothers me in books. When the siblings don't have a problem, but authors make it a point to drive a wedge between them anyway. I just think based off of the new person who's only been around for a few weeks. I think that's so weird. Like, I can see if it was like a Cain and Abel situation where the siblings had bad blood before the new person came into the picture. But I don't like when authors do that, where there's not really a problem between the siblings, but now that they're in a new relationship, and that new relationship clearly is a bad relationship because it's built on a lie at this point. The fact that his sister is the one who gets pushed out for a girl he's only known for a month or whatever. It's just, I don't like that dynamic in books. I think that the story felt flat in some parts, which it did. At some parts, it just kind of felt like the chemistry between Gyra and Charlie didn't feel there. So it kind of felt like the story was dragged so that we can get more interactions with them to make it feel like it's there and you just can't see it. You get what I'm saying? Like, there was not a moment where I was just like, oh, I can see why they would be into each other. It just didn't. It never did it for me, if that makes, like, I don't know. Like I said, I've read other books. Like, for example, in her book End of Time, it's obvious that, what was his name? Omir? I think his name's Omir. Omir and Bellamy are into each other, even though they just met. It's very clear because we see a build-up of their relationship, and we see him coming to her house, her going to his house, them hanging out. Like, and it's not even as many scenes as it is in this book, but we can see it in, like, their conversations away from each other, their conversations with each other, just the way they interact in spaces away from each other and with each other. And in this book, I feel like it wasn't there. So we had to get all these extra moments of them together that kind of felt repetitive, just so we would feel like all this time has passed and we would feel like there's a reason for this relationship to happen. When in my mind, it just didn't make sense. I said this setup was stupid. If Charlie already knew Gyra, their moments alone make no sense. So, in the end, we find out that Gyra and Charlie were working together all along, and that Charlie went to Gyra from the beginning about Payne trying to rob him, basically, and he went along with the plot that she had to set them up to get them unalived because they unalived her mom, or were involved in her mom being unalived. And it just makes their scenes together it makes it make less sense, because every interaction we have of just Gyra and Charlie, there's no familiarity in those moments. There's not a sense of they spent time prior to this putting this together. There's not a sense of they knew each other prior to this. And I get that it's to shock the reader, but it doesn't make sense if you're looking at it as if Charlie and Jira are real people. It doesn't make sense if you're looking at it as if we are not the third person in the room, which is how I feel like these kind of stories should be written. Don't write like I'm sitting at the table with them at dinner. You hear what I'm trying to say? Like, if Jira and Charlie already met, if Jira and Charlie already know each other, their conversations could have felt like it without it being obvious. Like, that first moment of their first time together when he picks her up after she is like serving at one of his parties to like get his attention. He picks her up and let me raise you up a little bit. He picks her up and in the car with her, he's saying, tell me about tell me about yourself. I don't know if I could trust you type things. And that would make sense if you haven't already agreed to go along with this plan, which means you already know you trust her. And I feel like it could have been written in a way where we couldn't tell, but I don't feel like this story was written in that way. I think it was a good plot, but I think that it fell flat in that area because they weren't interacting like people who knew each other, even when it was just them two around. When his sister was like, you don't know her, you can't trust her, you don't know her, you can't trust her, he goes along with it. He doesn't pull his sister to the side like, hey, be cool. I know exactly who she is. He's just like, oh, she's helped me with all kind of stuff. And it's like, but in theory, you've only known her a few weeks. You get, like, it's not a situation where Charlie is becoming the dang companion for his mom. He never once tells his mom, hey, this is my friend. We've been hanging. We've been talking for a while. It's very much, I don't know that girl. I'm just bringing her around the family just cause, like, I don't know. I just didn't agree with that through line. It just, once we find out that they knew each other and they set this emotion together at the end, it negates everything that I learned about them. It negates everything that I read. It just went against all of it. And it made me rate the book lower than I was planning to rate it. I'm going to be honest about that. But yeah, I said, if Jira told... Oh! We also learned that Jira, I think if I remember this correctly, told his mom about the plot. But this is what makes no sense. If that's the case, Charlie told Jira that Payne was after the diamond. Okay? Charlie already knows this stuff about the diamond. She knows that the diamond exists. And while she's the mom's companion, I don't remember verbatim, but there's a point in the story where her mom is like showing her diamonds, leaving money around to see if she'll take it. Talking about how many expensive gifts she's got from her husband and what's the favorite and what's the biggest diamond she has. She knows that Charlie already knows this based on the ending. So I said that if Jira told his mom about the plot, the conversation she had with Charlie about the diamond makes no sense because Charlie already knows. And Charlie's talking to the mom like she has no idea. But Charlie, I think, knows that the mom knows who she is. It just, once the author put that twist at the end, it ruined everything else that came before it. That's just that on that. And then the last thing I said was that the flashbacks at the end were a little too long. We got a lot of flashbacks about Charlie meeting them and what the relationship was like when they first met and how she informed him of what was going on, just like things of that nature. And I just think that those flashbacks took up too much of the book. That was it. But other than that, like I said, I rated the book a 3 out of 5, right? I think I lost it. I bumped my mouse and lost it, but yeah, 3 out of 5. I'm almost positive of what I said. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what you guys thought about it as well down below. Any books you want me to review. If you read this book, what did you think? If I'm being too critical, what do you think? Whatever you think about it, leave it down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.